Hi guys, it's Summers here and welcome to the third episode of my F1 2018 video series. We've just arrived in China for the third round of the championship. Having already raced in Australia and Bahrain with the AI level set at 50, I've decided that obviously we need to up that and now we'll push that on to 70. I also didn't realise that we had the vehicle damage set to full, so I've switched that over to simulation.
Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Thanks for that, Jeff. And now we've moved on to the new developments that we've got for the car this weekend, which include a weight reduction on the energy store, which we started straight away. We've got the gearbox, MGUK, and energy store durability, because those are elements of the power unit that we've only got two lots available to us for the season in order that we don't pick up any penalties. So as we move on to the R&D tree, we had a quick look at what we could actually achieve, and now we're having a look at the progress history, and we've taken a little bit of a step up in that respect to the ones below us. But what's more concerning to me is the reliability of the parts on the power unit. So as we can see, we've already got 31% overall wear, and more importantly, as we look at the race gearbox, we've only got we've already done 40% on the race gearbox, and we've only done 2 races, so that could be a bit of a problem going forward. Struggled a little bit to start with on the track acclimatisation program around China.
We haven't hit our program targets. Come in and take a look at the data. And
It wasn't up to it in terms of the pace of the car versus going through the gates, etc. So I moved off that and obviously the other programs started completing
excellent
those.
data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can talk
Went
you
back to
through
the
the
track
numbers.
acclimatised program a little later on, just basically trying to get some points, some R&D points on the boards that we've got to spend later in the season. We're going to try to spend as little as possible in this opening phase. Got a bit greedy here, and basically
Right.
that's the first
Engine
time.
off, engine
That's the
off.
first time I've had a terminal damage failure. Yeah, just got too greedy and went out onto the grass and tried to keep my foot in, but there we go. We've ended the session. We're on the back of the scooter going back to the pit lane.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top 3. Hamilton, Ricciardo and the Professor. That concludes an interesting practice session. Let's hope for more excitement as the weekend unfolds.
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Tell us what happened.
You had a mishap in practice. Will this affect qualifying or race day?
It's the start of the season. How do you think things are going to go for you?
You really put a lot of effort into practice today. Are you testing new components?
Great. Well, that's everything.
So let's have a look at what resource points we've picked up and where that leaves us in the standing of things in terms of how many points we'll have going forward. So 315 points from that session gives us just over 1,000 points again. As we move into free practice 2, decide to have a little play around with the car setup in terms of getting some extra performance. So I basically lowered the tyre pressures a little and moved some of the weight distribution rearwards in order that try and rotate the car in a different way.
Right, I'll get these changes made.
As we can see, we're going to go out and do some more of the programs that we missed out on in FP1. Energy recovery seems to be quite an easy.
With that, you're now currently the fastest in this session so far.
as we post the fastest lap there, these programmers are starting to get a good
Okay, test complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
As all the cars are now over the line, your top three again are the Professor, Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. Thank you for joining us for free practice today. We'll be back with more Formula One action very shortly.
And as we can see, that popped us up into
Great
P1.
work out there today. How do you think it went?
Pretty well, to be honest, Claire.
You spent a lot of time on the track during practice. Does the car have enough reliability to sustain that?
Rep increase there.
You had an incredible pace in practice. Would you say that you're pretty comfortable with the car?
The chassis department will note that.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And we'll see how many reward points that resource points we picked up from that session. So we're up to 1287 now, and as we try to follow the same sort of narrative that Force India are working towards for this season, it becomes obvious that the resource points that we're collecting is making life a little difficult.
Alright, get ready to jump out if you get too hot in there. There's a problem with the cooling system, and it's going to take us a few minutes to correct it.
Okay, so for the start of FP3 we've lost a little bit of time as we had a cooling system fault, so that's 5 minutes out of the session whilst the engineers get that repaired, and we head out to deal with the track
Complete
contract.
and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can talk you through the numbers.
Interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are Vettel, Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo. That's it for practice then. We'll see you again soon.
So yeah, down in 9th for FP3 as we just scroll through again to the resource points just to see, we only pick up a few for this session, an extra 60, so 1347 in total now, and a bit of extra rep for finishing where we did as we move on over to qualifying. And in qualifying one, I'm not going to bother showing you that lap because at the end of the day we've put it in P1. And as you can see, we're doing the old tactic of switching to the harder tyre for qualifying 2, knowing that we did so well in the previous session as we go a bit wayward off the track there.
That last lap moved you into P4.
We still managed to post a lap time that puts us in 4th at that point. Now, basically, we're down on the bubble here. We're down in 10th and unsure on who can actually improve and beat us. So what I decided to do here is just bolt on a set of the Ultra Softs and head out onto the track just to see, if anybody else improves, I'm going to improve anyway. But as we come to the end of our lap, I can see that nobody else is getting a better time, so I decided to back out of it and save that set of tyres so that I can qualify on the soft tyre along with Max Verstappen. And we're on an opposite strategy to everybody else again now for the race. Moving into Q3.
You've moved up to P3.
Qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Bottas, Hamilton and the Professor. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So yeah, we're getting on with the rivalry and we're beating Esteban Ocon. Obviously we haven't picked our other rival yet, so I think that comes a couple of races down the line and a few more resource points for us to spend in future races. So another 170 points we've picked up there and done us no harm with our reputation.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Okay, so let's have a look at the race strategy. First off, let's change the fuel load because we've got way too much fuel in the car. And secondly, I decided to go for a two-stopper. Just for me, that felt like a quicker way of dealing with this race. So as we head off into the first corner, we get out-dragged by Ricciardo and nearly Raikkonen as well. We got warned about a collision with Verstappen, whereas, yeah, I'm not quite sure that was my fault there. But there we go, we'll just carry on here down into the next DRS and high as we attack the lead cars.
Alright, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
Yep, Jeff, we're going to get focused, don't worry. But we're still punching way above where we should be at this point in the season. So with the AI set to 70, as we just clip the rear of Ricardo there, puts us off slightly, and we have a little bit of damage to our front wing.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Well, that's really what we want to hear, isn't it? We basically got a problem with the internal combustion engine.
Engine is showing small signs of wear. Power output will be down.
So we're 3 races in and we're already starting to see signs of wear on the ICE, which is not good news. We really need to have a look at that going into the next few races, if I'm honest, because we can't have a lack of power going against the rivals. As the Ferraris start to close in on us, I'm keeping an eye on in the rear. Switching the ERS down to low as we go into the hairpin at the bottom here. And a bit wide on exit. We've got Raikkonen now for company.
Gap to car in front is 5.2 seconds.
Okay, we're going to have to hang it around the outside, I think, because Raikkonen's just got us with DRS. Going into turn 1. This corner seems to take forever. You're on and off to throttle all the way through.
Faster engine modes are available.
Okay, so at this point in the race, I'm unsure who
Esteban is in the pits.
we're actually fighting. Raikkonen, we shouldn't really be on the pace of those lead cars, so I'm just going to stick it here with Raikkonen and just see how we're getting on going through this first stint. Starting to feel some wear on the tyres, as you can see. I'm having to wrestle the car a little bit, and we're only on lap 4 on the soft tyre.
Bottas has just moved into first place.
Nevertheless, at the end of lap 4, Raikkonen makes a pit stop, and he's obviously getting rid of his softer tyre to us. So now we've got to push on and try to take advantage of the fact that we've got some free air. We're in second place currently, and we'll be catching up to. In fact, we've taken first place because Bottas has now pitted, and now we've really got to make hay while the sun is shining. Get some lap times in. So we move to the middle of sort of lap 7. We have a half spin there. As I come back out onto the track, do pick up or collide with Verstappen, which was a bit of a clumsy move from myself, if I'm honest. But yeah, another half spin as we get out onto the curb. Jeff, our engineer, telling us that we've got lots of.
Slow down and maintain a positive delta. Virtual safety car is deployed. Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
That we've got lots of electrical energies deployed, but as the virtual safety cars deployed, which I think was for us going out onto the grass, if I'm honest. We just push onwards to try and catch up to the guys that we've allowed past us, which unfortunately are the guys that perhaps we're going to be fighting, Magnussen and Grosjean, throughout this race, who are actually on I believe a one-stopper. So I've allowed them past, and I really need to be out in front of them, because they're going to ruin my strategy otherwise as we look to the wear on the tyres. Been told by Jeff that we need to pit now. I was actually going through my head as to whether to stay at another lap and try and overtake them on the track, but with tyre wear as high as it is, I think we've gained more by pitting now anyway. Just getting out there again into the field. So as we come into the pits, I've made a bit of a rookie mistake, because on the MFD I haven't changed the settings so that we don't change the nose cone. The damage wasn't causing me too much issue, to be honest, and that's an unnecessary amount of time stood still. I've probably lost about 6.5 seconds there in the pit lane, which means that it's demoted us down to the back of the grid. and it means that we've got a lot of overtaking to do, including the 2 Red Bulls that have come out in front of us. We're on what looks like the medium tyre. Catch up to them in a moment and have a look at that, because they're obviously going on a 1-stopper. And having collided with Ricciardo in that first lap melee, I'm not actually convinced that I want to get past him at this point of the track, just purely because I know that we'll be quicker on the back straights because of where we are strategically. This is where we had the collision with him before, and again we nearly get into the back of him. Unsettles me a little bit, and now we're at the back of what is becoming rather a large queue of cars on a very different strategy to those around us, so we're going to have to make...
+1 lap of extra fuel target, +1.
We're going to have to make a move. So as we come out around this back corner here, we just flick up to overtake on the energy recovery system. We've got past Ricciardo and we picked up DRS from him because we were behind him at the detection zone. But that's obviously going to put us onto the tail of this other queue, and we take the last of the last breakers and we go past our colleague there, Ocon on the inside. Doesn't fight us too hard, and we've now got Alonso as our next prey ahead. We go out onto the straight with DRS and overtake.
Signs is stopping now.
I was tempted to go down the inside here, but Van Dorn coming out of the pit lane really ruined that and meant that I had to suddenly get out and around Alonso. It means that we just stuck behind him for a few extra corners than I was perhaps hoping for. Get the canny Spaniard going into and we move forward to the sort of end of lap 13 as I'm coming up on the back of Hulkenberg, going down into the hairpin again. That move was rather easy because we've just got a big overspeed against the German there. Out onto the pit straight, energy recovery into high, fastest lap of the race. So I managed to do that.
26.6 seconds.
So that fastest lap really was a crucial time in the race, and it allowed us to catch back up to the back of the pack, where we've got Magnussen here starting to struggle on, or what's looking like he's struggling on his medium tyres. I've got my energy recovery system into high straight away. Have a little look down the inside there, but it was never really on. Back down to none on the energy recovery because we want to save some for towards the end of this lap. Maybe get onto the back of Magnussen's teammate down the back straight. Taking my time here, a bit of grass cutting. Got the mixture for the RS in medium, a little bit wide there, going as we cut back across the track. It's allowed Magnussen to pull out a bit of a lead, but we should still have DRS going out onto the back straight. Into overtake, and now it dropped us out of the DRS, so we're going to have to do this the normal way. Go flick left to go around the outside, onto the brakes, a little bit deep there, but that kind of worked in our favour in terms of getting the traction down against the Haas, and out as we tried to get down the pitch straight and battle his teammate.
Raikkonen is in the...
Sorokin out of the race as we join towards the end of lap 16. We've caught up to the back of Grosjean now as well. And we're flicking the ERS into overtake mode. Hopefully we can do what we just did to his teammate. Only this time I think we're going to take him down the inside. We just lifted and coasted a little bit there into the corner before to settle the car before we got on the brakes, back into low energy recovery mode and out onto the pit straight. What I love about this race is that we've gone contra strategy to everybody else, starting on the soft tyre, going soft tyre in the middle stint means that we're going to be super quick at the end of the race because we're going to be on the ultras. And although we've got to repass cars, there's a bit of fun involved in doing all of that. So we're currently down in 7th with Van Dorn in 8th. And he's just gone past us out of the pit exit. We catch up to Van Dorn just as we're about to get into the DRS zone at the end of the lap. And it's a relatively easy pass. He's just got out of our way effectively. He's on the medium tyre and I think he didn't want to destroy his own race. So we picked it up on lap 26 and we've managed to catch up to the back of the Haas cars again, who were on the medium tyres and doing a one-stopper.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
And it's Grosjean first and we take him on the outside. High side pass, but he makes a comeback on the outer side of that corner. So we're going to have to wait again until the start of the straight here. I've not popped it into rich mix on the fuel mix because we've got plenty of fuel left for the last part of this race. We'll get it into overtake mode on the ERS. This should be a fairly easy pass past Grosjean, especially as we're now going to get DRS as well. 8th gear, and we'll pull in 210 mile an hour before braking for the hairpin, and we're on the back of Magnussen. There's a fairly nice exit there as we've got DRS again, and we're into hot lap as we go around the Haas.
Okay, gap to leader,
Overtake,
24.0
and we're going to
seconds. Gap to teammate behind is
bit
37.
wide in turn 1, but that's what we really needed to do to be able to take Magnussen, and we're up into 5th place as we join us on the final lap. And I've gone wide and I'm beginning to struggle, I think, with the ultra soft tyre, to be honest. It's starting to give up a bit of grip, and then all of a sudden it grips and we're on the grass again. I decided to back out the throttle in order that I got some purchase. But as we go down the back straight, I'm in hot lap because I've given up the positions to both horses and I want one of those back from Grosjean. I'm pretty much nailed on here that I'm not going to get Magnussen now because of my mistake. But irrespective of that, I still think that that's a good finish, a P6 for Force India.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
The team seem relatively
And now
happy about
let's
it.
take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Valtteri Bottas, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Kevin Magnussen. That was a command.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective.
Yeah, it was pretty good, Claire.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
They better be. I think we did pretty well in that race.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
Great. Well, that's everything.
Thanks, Claire. So as we move on to the rivalry, we just have a look at where we are in stacking up in comparison to Ocon, and yeah, we're leading the rivalry obviously, going into Baku is the next round of the championship. Some more resource points on the board there, and our reputation with the teams has increased with that result.
Great work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up. We've received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend.
Okay, so I decided to do the RB6 challenge suit because, yeah, I wanted to drive the RB6 at the end of the day. And what I found immediately about this car is that obviously the sound is very different because we've got a V8 screamer. But also, it appears that it behaves very differently on throttle. So a bit of the off-throttle blowing scenario, you know, this was a car with a blown diffuser. So I think it's kind of been modelled into the game in that if you can keep your foot in on the throttle, in some respects it's actually quicker to go around some of the corners throttled up than it would be if you were just playing it with a 2018 car that you maybe have to relax with a little bit more. The Ferrari here gives me a bit of a challenge down the straight. I thought I was going to pull past him, but he's just got the legs on me on the top speed. So dart to the inside, but again on the brakes he's managed to get me as well. Bit of a pull and cut there, but we didn't get cooked out for it, so that's all good. And then finally we get caught up to the leader. Had 3 laps to get all of this done, and we dispatched them all pretty quickly, to be honest.
Congratulations on your success in the invitational event. There may not be points or prizes, but it still helps you look good.
So just before we finish this episode, I just wanted to have a look at the R&D tree, etc. I know we've moved on to Baku, but you know, it doesn't hurt to have a quick look at all of this sort of stuff. So what I'm going to look at doing here is developing the ignition system, because I think we're going to end up taking an internal combustion engine. In this career mode, I wanted to retain the upgrade in line with the introduction of new power unit components. So what I'm doing is I'm going to upgrade the internal combustion engine so that it's ready for when we need to change that at one of the coming races. I'd also like to do some more of the chassis side of things in terms of weight reduction, but as I said at the start of this career mode, what we're attempting to do is do a development trajectory very similar to what we saw from Force India in the opening part of the season. And in that respect, their first aerodynamic upgrade came at Monaco, where they ran the new front wing that they technically introduced in Bahrain but never raced, and they had a new T-wing, double element T-wing for Monaco. So what I'm intending on doing is trying to get the first front wing and rear wing aerodynamic improvements in line with the Monaco Grand Prix. As we can see, my other major concern is the wear level that we've got on the internal combustion engine and some of the other components that of the power units. And more concerning is the level of wear we've got on the event gearbox. So we've got only done 3 events and we've already got 56% wear, and obviously we've got to make it through until 6 races. So I think we're going to struggle in terms of durability. But yeah, I'm still trying to retain a sense of what the narrative was for Force India going into 2018. And hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, could you please like and subscribe to my channel? And then you will get updates as to when these videos go live next time around. I look forward to seeing you for the next episode, where we'll be in Baku.